Hey everybody, I'm Benjamin, aka the Terrible Australian of supermarcy.com, and this is my video review of Gemma Bovary, which is the new film from director Anne Fontaine. So let's get right into it. I have to admit, this is only my second film that I've seen from Anne Fontaine. The only film that, at least, well, she's got a pretty big filmography, and one of the films that I know she directed was a film called Natalie, which was actually remade a couple of years ago as Chloe, which starred Julianne Moore, Liam Neeson, and Amanda Seyfried. But the only, sort of looking over her filmography, the only other film of hers that I've actually seen prior to this one was her previous film, Adoration, which was a film that was made here in Australia that had Naomi Watts and Robin Wright. And while that film sort of had fine performances, I honestly didn't really like that film at all. So I wasn't sure what to expect with this film. But overall, I have to say, I thought it was a pretty solid film. Like, it's not particularly amazing in any way, but it is pretty well made, and it's well written, nicely directed by Anne Fontaine, who also co-wrote the script, and also has some pretty good performances in it. And one of the interesting things I sort of found out about this film while I was doing a bit of research on it, of course, the film Gemma Bovary, the plot of the film is like our lead character, who's played by Fabrice Lunchini. He sort of meets this couple, and sort of based on his observations on what they're going through when they move to this sort of small town in France, is that there's sort of a lot of parallels with the novel, like was particularly with the character of Gemma, sort of what she's going through over the course of the film, sort of in a way parallels what happens to the main character in the novel Madame Bovary, and he sort of makes comments about that and everything, which is actually pretty funny. And like the film does, first and foremost, it is a drama, but it also does have a humor in it as well, sort of to liven things up. And I thought that was interesting, but I have to admit I have never read the original novel that the film is kind of that takes its cues from. But one of the things what I found out was that this film is actually based on a graphic novel that was created by Posey Simmons, and funnily enough, she also created the graphic novel Tamara Drew, which of course, if you remember, a couple of years ago was made into a film which coincidentally also starred Gemma Arterton. And I didn't really know about this until I just did a bit of research after I saw the film. So I thought, okay, that's pretty cool. And for most part, I did really enjoy it. Like I said, it's not a particularly amazing film by any means, but I think what really sort of made the film work for me, of course, was the performances, particularly the leads of Fabrice Lunchini, and I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong, so forgive me if I've got it wrong, and of course Gemma Arterton. I think they're both really wonderful in this film, and they both have sort of great chemistry together, and also they just deliver really terrific performances. And also Gemma Arterton this film sort of gives a great showcase for Gemma to sort of stretch more of her dramatic muscles. Like, I think compared to sort of the big major films that she's appeared in, a lot of the smaller films that she's appeared in the last few years, like Bicentennium and a couple others, Tamara Drew, of course, they really do give us a good indication of what she is like as an actress. And I think she's pretty underrated, and she's quite wonderful in those films, and she's particularly wonderful in this one as well. And I was sort of taken in by sort of her character's journey during the course of the film. And because like I said, I've never read the original novel of Madame Bovary, so I wasn't sure exactly, because I knew that the film was, like, what happened in the film was sort of parallel with the book, but since I hadn't read it, I wasn't 100% sure exactly where the plot was going to go. Like, I had a bit of an idea, but it was interesting to sort of, as somebody who's never read the book, sort of watching this film and seeing how it all plays out. But at the same time, though, it kind of, for me, that kind of worked against the film as well, because, like, I think this is a film that sort of really sort of helps that if you have read Madame Bovary, and, you know, the characters and the world that they live in, and the themes and all that. It's sort of this. They sort of try to replicate that in this film as well. At least that's what I gathered, and I don't think it quite 100% succeeds at doing that. Like, some cases it does, and other times it doesn't quite get there. But I thought when that's sort of like, I think if, you know, I think if it's sort of, the film and Fontaine sort of worked a bit more, sort of, even those who aren't familiar with the book as like I am, would be able to sort of get a bit more engaged by it. And I think if you have read the book, it will be more engaging as a film. But overall, like, even the supporting cast, like, which include like Jason Flemyng, who I thought was pretty solid in the film. Everyone's all pretty solid in their roles, and they all sort of deliver as well. Like, some of them I kind of wish there was a bit more of, but, you know, what can you do? But overall, I did like this film. I did enjoy it. It's not perfect by any means, but I think it's definitely a vast improvement over Adoration from Anne Fontaine for me. And I'll be looking forward to check out more of her stuff from, you know, her previous films as well. So, but if I had to say anything, I think it's definitely worth checking out just for the performances of Gemma Arterton and Fabrice Lunchini, because I thought they were both terrific. So, overall, I give this a solid 3.5. And, like I said, it's not perfect, but, you know, for what it is, it's pretty solid, and I did enjoy it, nonetheless. So, yep, that's my video review of Gemma Bovary. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys all later. See you, everyone. Bye.